All right. Hi. Hello, everybody.
Oh,
Tim told me to start talking, so I'm going to start talking. How's it going? Welcome to
good,
the
good.
episode. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Thanks for tuning in,
Nancy.
everybody. Uh, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell to get alerts for the next time we go live. Instagram and Threads right off the bat. Slide into the DMs. Email us at svtsportspod@gmail.com as well. So get those out of the way right up off the top. Something
Hold
like
the damn second. Look
Yeah.
at this production value.
I know, right?
Look at everything around. It is moving. I feel like I am on a old school MTV right now.
It's dynamic. I love it.
Check this out.
Yeah.
That's
I had
pretty
to pay.
tight.
Production
Looks
value.
good.
Huh?
Yeah, look
Looks
at that.
good.
Shout out
season.
Tim in the SVT studios.
Yeah,
that's
man.
right.
He budget cut. So he
back
to
in
make
the,
this make this happen, he budget cut his microphone for a tin can. So
Let's hear from Tim. Tim, look at a good old hello.
Right on. So yeah, we got an upgrade. It's the new season. It means new graphics, right? So this is exciting. I'm
I
pumped
love
for it.
this.
Yeah. So
Great job, Tim. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tim.
yeah. By the way, I'm Vince. Sam, you're over there. Tyler, how's it going?
What's up, guys? I got back from vacation here over the old islands over there.
You got back from vacation?
Yeah, man. Chimed in though. Still heard from you guys, so it was all good. You know,
Yeah,
I
he was
made
on
sure,
assignment. Remember?
I made sure that I heard my picks be broadcasted live in air, and you know, I gotta say, the Bears not going that route, Sam. Not going that route. You are a bold man.
The defense really saved them, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Obviously, we're gonna just recap the week that was. The Niners are playing on Monday Night Football, so I'm not gonna turn on that game. I'm not looking at it until after we're done recording. But we did get up to the first field goal attempt, and that's all I know at this point. So moving on. So let's just dive right into these scores, huh? We'll get going. So on the main slate on Sunday, the Cardinals lose to the Bills in a close one, 34-28. The Dolphins beat the Jaguars 20-17. That was a comeback. Tyreek Hill was in a little bit of an interesting situation. We'll talk about that in a second as well. Steelers over the Falcons 18-10, 6 field goals there.
Yeah.
Saints all over the Panthers 47-10, and it wasn't that close either. The Patriots with the upset over the Bengals 16-10. Danger in Cincy. Danger. The Bears get the win over the Titans 24-17. The defense helped them out big time, bailed them out. The Texans survive against the Colts 29-27. The Vikings all over the Giants 28-6. The Chargers beat the Raiders 22-10. We'll talk about that more in a little bit because that's Sam's team. The Seahawks over the Broncos 26-20. The Cowboys destroy the Browns 33-17. That's a bummer.
I think we've been Russian hacked. I'm watching the stream here, and Tim's releasing all the images all at once right now.
Yeah.
So everyone's getting the taste of everything that's going on.
You're getting to see the what we're going to talk about in a little bit. The Buccaneers beat the Commanders 37-20, and then on our primetime games, the Chiefs opened up the season with the W against the Ravens 27-20. Isaiah Likely touched his toe on the end zone line at the end. It was not a touchdown by about a third of an inch. It was really close. The Eagles get the win over the Packers on Friday down in Brazil 34-29. The Lions in overtime get it done against the Rams 26-20 on Sunday Night Football. And as we said, the Niners and the Jets are playing in Santa Clara. That just kicked off about 20 minutes ago. So as soon as we're done, that's when I'm going to start watching. But let's talk about our teams first. Sam, let's talk Raiders. Did you see anything that you liked?
I like the defense.
Okay,
when you leave the defense out on the field for that long, and you know, a lot of things came down to the game. I think the biggest frustration thing is the fourth down, and you punt from you're 40.
Yeah, you were like right there, like right around the midfield, right? And
right. So
yeah,
you
7.5
pump from the
minutes left.
40, where just go for it, because your defense has been on the field for so long. The Chargers, I felt like, yeah, the defensively they're doing pretty good things. I thought, but were going to do their thing, and they did. But for the most part, you were starting, the Raiders offensively were starting to show signs that they could gash. Like they were getting some big plays, they're getting chunk plays. And the defense of the Chargers were starting to show that they were getting ready to give a big play, because they were on the field a long time too. Offensively, neither team was very dominant. Like they were both kind of crappy offensive showings. Go for it. Instead, you punt, you put your defense back on the field, and they end up having a drive. And now their defense has all this rest, and you had no shot, So once they gave up that touchdown, you have no shot. Turnover, the fumble, 2 fumbles, was just terrible. But the Minshew fumble was completely unacceptable. You got one job, and that's don't turn the ball over. Rule number 1. And you're not going to be an offense that can overcome these types of games. How the Chargers won the game is exactly how the Raiders should have or had the opportunity to win the game. And that's the Raider season, is you're not going to win games in down to field goal situation, turnover game, grind it out, fist fight football. And you lost.
Literally fist fight football.
You lost. So Antonio Pierce be a really good coach. I just think this roster doesn't have the quarterback. It doesn't have the quarterback that's gonna. I think you might be able to be somewhere around 7, 8, 9 wins. But I think that's like the rest of the team carrying everything. And I think it's kind of like the Jets, right? You get Aaron Rodgers coming back. You got a lot of pieces on the Jets, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to be the MVP guy. He just needs to be competent, because if they got any type of competent play last year, the Jets are a really good football team. They're a 10-win football team. And we've said this about the Raiders in the offseason, draft, free agency, is could you be just a decent quarterback away type of roster? And I think they are. I think if they had a respectable quarterback, they're in the hunt. They just don't. Don't.
I think a couple things to take away though that I saw from the game is a lot of screenplays, man. A lot more than I was really anticipating from the offense that I saw a year ago. And trust me, being an Eagles fan, I've seen my fair share of screenplays for an offense as being the sole provider of it. And hopefully there's a little bit more motion, a little bit more creativity as the offense, rolls along here. Bowers though looks good. I know it wasn't like a Kelsey type of showing, but did the little things, blocking well, has good hands, looks like he has a pretty smart IQ. So I think there's some positives to take away from this loss. I mean, yeah, Khalil Mack is all world talent, and he showed you why. He had some strip sacks. He had the creating of havoc for Minshew the whole entire game. So, but I think ultimately it's week 1. This offense is got to develop more. It doesn't really look like it's going to get much easier. I mean, that division's pretty tough as it is. So
the Ravens next week.
Exactly. Yeah. So
speaking of, and I mean, Isaiah Likely was the only tight end that actually did anything, and nobody drafted him. So I mean, so that'll be a huge waiver wire for you fantasy heathens out there, I'm sure.
He was very unlikely for everyone.
Yeah, totally. Made me sad in one league, but that's okay. That's okay. So let's talk Eagles real quick. Friday night, you get the huge W there in Brazil. What'd you like?
Man, I didn't like that field, though. I'll tell you that. That field was god awful. Why are we watering a pitch like it's a soccer match? It's not. These are 300-pound men, not 180-pound little skinny soccer guys. What are we doing here? So my takeaways. Look, Jalen Hurts had a Jalen Hurts type of game, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That is a little telling to me, given the fact that he praised so highly about this new offense. This offense definitely looks better. Kellen Moore's got more motion into the offense. I can't speak enough about the defense. That defense literally saved our butts again, So we've got Barkley on our team who look like if he had a competent O-line in New York, this is what you would have seen for the last 3 years. So it's not a
I love
shock
that
to me.
pass play too, like that's Huddy.
Yeah, in the corner over
great.
there.
Yeah,
I mean that's something that an X factor that he brings, right? But the Eagles have shown with their O-line that any competent running back could look really good in our thing. And then you add Barkley, who could do things, catching for a touchdown or explode down the middle and just look like the all-world talent that he was in New York. So I love that. Mitchell, our rookie cornerback, they tried him 3 or 4 times. Not a single one ever worked on him. So I am super happy to have him there. A little concerned with the middle linebacker position. Nakobe Dean looked good. He had some good moments there. I think that's still a big little question mark. We had some injuries going into this game as well too. But hey, you take the W. Prayers out for Jordan Love. That's an unfortunate situation to end the game, but a W is a W.
He sprained his MCL. Excuse me. So he's probably going to be out for a few weeks. They've already announced, I believe it's Malik Willis is going to be quarterbacking the Packers for the next few games while Jordan Love works his way back. So condolences to the Packers fans. Yeah, that's a rough way to end too. Is like right at the end too. Like it's just it's a shitty field too. Like I mean, I'm sure that was a contributing factor as well. Yeah. I'm glad I don't have to talk about the Niners right now. We can just move on to news and notes, I believe.
I do want to shout out the Steelers, man. We said it, or at least Vince said it again. I mean, how the hell did they get this win? This was who was the quarterback? It was
Justin Fields was
just field goals was that whole entire game. So it's impressive that they got that win. Steelers, you could just put them in the book for at least 8 wins this year, right?
Yeah, well, 9 wins. 9 wins because they're going to finish above 500. That's what Thompson does. 500
crazy.
or better.
It's crazy, man.
Unless there's a tie in there, he's getting 9 wins. 8 wins and a tie, or 9 or more. Like that's what's going to happen. Just go ahead and just chisel that into fucking stone, man. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Somehow the Steelers are the only team in the AFC North with a win.
Yeah, it's wild. Anyways, just want to give the roses for that one.
Yeah. So yeah. Somebody that got something was Dak Prescott. Dallas. Jerry Jones finally caved and agreed to a 4-year, $240 million extension, making Dak the highest paid player in NFL history. So Dallas is going to continue their commitment to mediocrity. I love this for them. It's great. They got CD locked up, which is great, but then they also locked up Dak. So I love that too. And
the money they spent on CD, the money they spent on Dak, right? How are they going to be able to afford their all-pro defensive end over there? Micah Parsons. He's on his last year of his rookie contract. He can opt into his 5th year next year. They could franchise tag him. That's an option they could do. But how are they going to be able to pay for this kid? And I like wearing my tin hat every once in a while. He's from Philadelphia. He's a big Eagles fan. And Howie Roseman is my GM. So if anything could happen, I trust in Howie on this one. And it would be great if it did happen. Oh, man. Just the hate coming down my road would be so sweet. I would all of it, love all of it. Bring it on.
Yeah. So let's talk Sunday morning. Tyreek Hill was put in handcuffs briefly by police about a block away from the stadium right before the game. He later in the game scores a touchdown, and then his TD celebration was walking like he was in cuffs. So I'm glad he had a little bit of a sense of humor about it, but it's just, what the hell? Like, for starters, what are the cops doing? As soon as they realize that that's Tyreek Hill, why aren't they like saying, hey, just tone it down a little, I mean.
Well, I did read about it. Right? He was driving recklessly.
Yeah.
And, like Don't
Yeah,
drive
I
like
mean-
how many football players
Oh,
are in
yeah.
these fucking car accidents?
Oh no, I'm not saying anything like that, but like you put Tyreek in handcuffs though. Like I get like pulling him over for reckless driving, and then you find out it's him. Maybe you escort him yourself to the stadium at that point.
Yeah.
But I don't, oh man.
Well, I mean, Tyreek
As soon as he passed the field sobriety test, I'm sure,
Tyreek did the right thing. He went to his press conference. He didn't downplay the police. He
Mhm.
said we need to work together as a community, and he could have come out and said I was in the wrong too, but he didn't say that. He skirted that, but he didn't also badmouth the police, which is I appreciate that as well too. Calais Campbell was also, I think it was Calais, right? Campbell was also put into handcuffs, trying to de-escalate the situation with him as well too. So yeah, that's an unfortunate situation, awkward and weird situation that
Yeah.
that
What-
happens. But
What a way to start the year, huh?
first Scotty
Not
Scheffler, and
good.
now Tyreek Hill, huh?
Yeah.
Trying to make it to the stadium and you get arrested.
Right. Good grief. Ricky Pearsall is he may be able to play in week 5 as soon as he's eligible to come off of the NFI list.
That's
So
that's many men's Ricky Pearsall right there.
yeah. Wow. Like
Oh,
so Shanahan actually said that when he talked to the doctors in the ER that of 100 guys that come in with that kind of gunshot injury, only 2 of them survive. So there's a horseshoe up Ricky Pearsall's ass or something. I don't know, man. Like he's extremely lucky. So I mean, we talked about it before. So that's great. Glad he's feeling better. He's at the stadium. I saw him pregame. He was like, taking pictures with fans and stuff like that. Christian McCaffrey is not starting in Monday Night
Yeah.
Football. So that was a huge last minute news. And if you didn't have Jordan Mason already on your team, what were you thinking? You knew he was CMC was questionable. So you gotta think ahead. And some people may have sniped Jordan Mason off of the waiver wires when that was available. I may have done that to somebody in a family league with my cousin up north in Portland. So
I just want to point out, shout out to your team, Vince. They got me my parlay, so I won my bet today. So
okay.
let's go, baby.
Cool. So Ayuk got 7 yards in the first quarter. Thanks.
He got 7
Spoilers.
yards, and Rodgers had to score or had to get more than 5 total yards, or 0.5. So
He had to throw
take
for a yard or more.
exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So shout out.
Wild. Okay. All right. So is there anything else football we should discuss? I'm looking over it.
I would just say I need to see more out of Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
That was abysmal.
Yeah, that offense was ass. They got bailed out by 2 a defensive score and a special team score.
You mean Simone Biles' husband?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
it. That's
Specifically Jonathan Owens. Yeah.
that's all I really got on this week. Except one more thing too. Kirk Cousins, man, if you can't plant that foot, you will have a rough day meeting Mr. Jalen Carter next Monday here, bud. Just giving you a heads up.
It didn't look great. I don't think the confidence was quite there yet.
Don't think so either.
Yeah, so we'll see how it shakes out. I just on a whim, I just threw him on my bench as a second quarterback just for shits and giggles. But I'll probably keep toying with that and just dropping random guys and picking up random guys for that one. Anyway, so let's move on. Just a couple of quick basketball notes. On Saturday, Jamal Murray and the Denver Nuggets agreed to a 4-year, $209 million extension. So good for Jamal Murray. Get your bag. And also on Saturday, Angel Reese announced that she sustained a season-ending wrist injury. So her season's done, unfortunate. But she had a hell of a rookie season. 446 rebounds is the most in a season in WNBA history, apparently. 26 double-doubles is most by a rookie and second most by any player in WNBA history. And she's the 5th rookie in WNBA history to average a double-double for the season. So hell of a season for her, man.
She's definitely turned around her narrative this season, and I praise her for that. So congratulations on that. Also crazy that the Fever, when I was in vacation, looked like they were in the 5th or 6th spot for the playoffs. I did not have them being that high up.
Yeah, Indiana's really turned it around after they were stumbling in those first few weeks for sure.
I think they have the best record since post All-Star / Olympics. So
yeah, they've been crushing it, and as expected, Caitlin Clark's kind of really found her stride as well. So
got a future.
Yep, I think she might be all right. She might be a player one day.
Okay. This is now her chance to seal the deal and get 27 double-doubles before the season ends.
Jesus. So wild. Okay.
It's sad that I just want to skip everything WNBA, just get to the draft so I know who the Valkyrie is.
I know, right? Yeah, we're like on pins and needles waiting to get truly activated, because right now we're just kind of casuals. But as soon as we have a team, I'm gonna fucking care a lot, man.
She was practicing with Jaylen Brown and Steph Curry the other day, so if it's a little precursor. Who are we saying is going to be the number one possible?
Paige Beckers.
She was practicing with Curry and Jaylen Brown the other day. So, who knows?
They better fucking trade up just trade up, dude.
Yeah. The entire fucking thing. If you don't end up with the number 1 seed, see if you can go get it,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'll trade you the next 5 picks for this one, for the next 5 seasons.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the star-driven... basketball is a star-driven sport anyway. Yep. So if you get a star, it's all fucking worth it, man. So yeah, so there's our basketball. That's a really quick segment there. Only like 3 minutes on that one, I think. Let's move on to hockey. It's just a couple of quick notes on this one as well. Macklin Celebrini has a place to live for his first season. It's with the director of vibes, Jumbo Joe Thornton. In addition, Will Smith is going to be living with Patrick Marleau. So the rookies are going to be living with the all-time greats, really learning how to get it done by 2 of the best to ever do it. So
Sam, you want to see a grown man hold his tear back right now? Watch. Vince, what if Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith, they win the cup here, and then they hand the cup to Joe Thornton and or Patrick Marleau? Is that a tear moment?
Well, I mean, no, they're gonna hand it to the entire team first. It would be the team on the ice first. Everybody on the ice gets to touch it, then the coaches, and then fuck you.
It would definitely make them ball.
Do you understand? I would be a mess if I see the cup. If the Sharks can win the cup, I will be a goddamn mess. I will be like the most happy tears you'll ever see. I'll be unavailable for the podcast. I'll throw that out there right now. I mean, it'll take me like a week and a half to come down.
I get it, man. When the Eagles won that Super Bowl, I was crying my eyes out with a bottle of Hennessy in my hands too.
Yeah, no, I'm celebrating hardcore, man. To be sure. So, I mean, I threw up a fun little meme. Shark City Hockey threw up a full house, and it's the two old dudes and then the 2 rookies. Just for fun. So, shout out Shark City Hockey for the meme. Appreciate you.
Which one's Bob Saget?
You know what? I think that's got to be Marleau.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because Jumbo, that's going to be your Uncle Joey, man. He already has a puppet. He has a puppet, right? He has Slappy, and that's your compared to the woodchuck.
So does that mean the players are the Olsen twins?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I might go Stephanie and DJ. But yeah. Stephanie was funny. A baddie, isn't she? Oh my god. Anyway.
Tim, are you able to play that video?
Yeah, let's Sam has something that he did a while back. So and we teased it a couple weeks ago. I think we're finally able to make it work. So
one more?
That bad boy up.
Get one more? Can I get one more?
Yeah.
Go! Oh, yes! Cannot beat this guy. Try this. Get control of the puck.
Tim.
Hit this button, move to the left, and shoot. You'll beat the goalie to the stick side
Here it
every
goes.
time.
Can you make it bigger?
That's good. Oh, wow.
Insider
didn't know
Kevin
we were gonna
Cruz is
pull
your
this one
Sharks
out,
wingman
huh?
on CSNCalifornia.com
Yep.
and Sportsnet Central.
Sam did a commercial for the Sharks once upon a time.
That's awesome, man.
It's specifically for like Comcast Sportsnet or whatever, right? And you're like
I think
talking
it
to
was-
the insider. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Comcast.
Yeah.
Comcast.
Because they're talking about Kevin Kurz as the wingman, the Sharks wingman was their
Yeah.
insider at the time.
Yep.
So that's what that is. It's fun little memory lane there for you about a decade ago. So you got some street cred,
Yeah.
You're not total bandwagon.
No.
That's awesome, man.
That was a
That's
fun.
awesome.
That was a fun experience too.
Yeah.
The production crew, Atomic Studios, who are still around, they were great.
Right on. Cool. Okay, so one more hockey note: the Professional Women's Hockey League, PWHL. They started last season, and they just had the team names were PHL, and then the city name. So it was Boston, Minnesota, Montreal, New York, Ottawa, and Toronto. But now they've released. I was about to say unleashed and released at the same time. Anyway, they have their logos now, and they have the actual names of the teams now instead of just instead of PWHL Boston, it's now the Boston Fleet, and they have all these logos: Minnesota Frost, the Montreal Victoire, the New York Sirens, the Ottawa Charge, and the Toronto Scepters. And they kind of kept most of the same color scheme, that they were working with in the first season. So, but now you get some really like these logos. I kind of dig the Boston logo because it's like the anchor, but it's also as a B, and so it's like the fleet, and you can kind of see the waves in the lettering. The Minnesota Frost, it almost looks like a jagged little icicle that might fall off your house and kill you. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. So I mean, I think that these are some pretty cool looking logos. I don't know if
I'm liking the sirens. The second one there on the right there, kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles type of deal situation.
Yeah. There's some fun stuff happening here. Again, because we don't really have a local dog in this fight, I'll be the first to admit is just being a casual, but it's fun to watch, and I see the highlights through TikTok and whatever comes across on my feed, and so it's kind of I kept a little bit of an eye on it this past season, and now that you have actual team names, it can be a lot of fun to really just follow a little bit closer, especially if you live in the areas of these particular teams, cities, what have you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Also, I will make a note that in Toronto this past season, they were playing at this arena that held about 3,000. They're moving to a different arena now that holds almost 10,000. So because of the demand for these tickets, so it's we've talked about it before. Women's sports are having an opportunity here, and they're really seizing it. And it's just good stuff coming.
More seating than the Phoenix Coyotes stadium.
Yeah.
I think it's great, on not just for the players, but everything around it. It creates more coaching jobs. It creates just jobs that are in the sports industry for there's men that coach women's college, women's high school, there's women that work around men's sports. And I think we need to have more cross-pollination, female executives in the NFL, baseball. We're starting to see this happening. There is going to be a woman that is, football operations and is drafting. I mean, there's, you don't need to be a football player to be able to put a roster together. It's, there are women, Howie Roseman's, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, you look at ESPN has Mina Kimes, and she's the smartest person in that entire network, I think. And she does an excellent job. For example,
Wait, is she the one that's the Seahawks fan? That's the only downfall.
Yeah, she's kind of that's her downfall, but she at least has fun with it and embraces it. But I do enjoy I enjoy her content. So
Awesome.
yeah, so I mean we think about it just representation in general. How many, fat white dudes saw Avengers Endgame and saw Thor and felt, fuck yeah, let's go,
Yeah.
let's do this. Like, that's what representation is when you get to see yourself on, on a big screen or in playing professional sports. That's what representation can do. And finally, like seeing women have, you can play hockey now and have an established league somewhat close to home, especially if you're, in or near one of those cities. Also, with soccer too and basketball, the first WNBA team is coming to the Bay Area next year. I mean, this is a chance for girls in the Bay Area to regularly see themselves, people who look like them, playing basketball. So all of a sudden, things that are just like in a like in a vacuum possible, they're like tangible, and that's what's important, and that's what's great. And I'm really excited for the opportunities that are coming soon, coming down our way.
Absolutely.
So I think that's that'll do it for hockey. I think there's your hockey talk. Let's move on to soccer. Let's talk about your boys across the ocean in Wrexham. What happened there?
You see this number?
Mm-hmm.
That's where they're at, baby.
Yeah,
number
place.
1. They haven't lost. They are undefeated. That's
four wins and a draw.
I don't think you and I had that. We talked about all season that they were going to be middle of the road in EFL 1. That seems like it's slated. Now, again, it's early.
It's super early. 5 games in to a, I believe it's like a 40 game season or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the good talks is that you get to talk about being in first place and not having to fight for a promotion to get into the champions. So
46 games.
3-0, okay, Shrewsbury Town. Their social media team is a joke, by the way. Shrewsbury Town, they posted a picture about how they beat Wrexham 1-0 from 2007. They said, we know who you really are. I'm like, really? Okay. All right. Well, the cool thing about this is that they're winning and they don't even have Paul Mullen yet. They don't even have their top scorer yet, and they're already shelling out teams in the EFL 1. Now, they spent on this team like an EFL 1 roster, and you're seeing the results of what this did. Nkannou has had 4 clean sheets. He hasn't given up a goal since the first game of the season. Amazing. Love that. They're currently 4-1 and no losses. 13 points, first place. Next match against Salford City in the EFL Trophy. Next regular league match is going to be on the 16th, which I believe is next Tuesday. Is that correct? Next Monday. Yeah. Against Birmingham City.
Yeah. That's a noon game, noon for Pacific time for us. So
yeah.
Also we'll have a result there.
There's been some people who do the iFollow. They had some issues with it. If you're stateside, you can catch it on CBS as a recap. You can also watch them on Paramount Plus if you have that subscription. So there is ways to watch these matches without having to deal with iFollow's lackluster of quality there. So excited, man. Early the season, but hey, can't say anything better than being in first place, right?
Yeah, better first than last right now, right?
Exactly.
All right, so let's switch gears, come back home, and talk Bay FC real quick. They get the win, 1-0, and that was a huge win over Racing Louisville. That propels them up to 7th place. Top 8 make the playoffs. Right now, they're sitting at 24 points. Like I said, 7th place. You're looking at teams behind them are the Red Stars, 1 point back in 8th. Angel City is in 9th. They're 3 points back of Bay FC. And Seattle Reign is 20 points, so they're 4 points back. And Racing Louisville falls all the way to 11th with this loss. They're 4 points out of a playoff spot. They're 5 points back of Bay FC. So getting that win, that helped, gives you a little bit of distance, a little bit of elbow room, not much. because your next upcoming game is in North Carolina against the Courage, and that team is currently sitting in 5th, and they are actually the number 1 team in terms of possession. So they hold the ball a lot. So if you got to capitalize whenever you do get a chance in this next game coming up, because otherwise it's going to be a long day. That being said, so let's just talk. Oshuala got the goal. It was a tough play by the new acquisition, Penelope Hawking. She kind of gets the ball into the middle, and it's just kind of bouncing around. Oshuala cleans up the loose change after Hawking just kind of forced it to her, and is about 8 yards out. So, and that was in the 75th minute. So it was kind of late, and NWSL After Dark strikes again, man. It's a wild ending to a game, a late goal, and there you have it.
Yeah.
So defender Jen Beatty was nominated for the Lauren Holiday Impact Award, which is basically the equivalent, the NFL equivalent is the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. So this award recognizes NWSL players for outstanding service and character off the pitch. So Jen Beatty had fought and won her battle with breast cancer, and she's partnered with like local Bay Area nonprofits to continue community efforts on cancer awareness and women's health and stuff like that. So she's very well deserving of this nomination. And this is another one where every team gets a nominee, and then fan voting actually is part of it too. So starting in October, fans can begin voting on that, and let's get her an award. Let's get her some hardware, you know.
Absolutely.
All right, so now let's move on to one more women's soccer note. Let's go to the next slide, and this is the other part of the title. The baby horse is riding away. Alex Morgan is retiring. She played her last game on Sunday, which was her 150th NWSL game. She was subbed out in the 13th minute. She assisted on San Diego's goal. Actually, I think that was their only goal in the game. It said the first goal. She also had a penalty kick that the keeper Casey Murphy just made a hell of a save on. And Alex takes off her cleats and waves goodbye to the fans in the 13th minute. Very fitting for number 13. She's obviously all the accolades and awards and honors. She's, NWSL Player of the Year several times. She's won 2 World Cups. She's got a gold and a bronze medal. She's did it all. She's number 5 all time in scoring for U.S. Women's National Team. We talked about her being left off the roster a few months ago for the Olympics, and she actually mentioned that she thought that this would be her last year playing soccer at the beginning of the year. She's retiring a little earlier than she planned because she's pregnant and is having her second kid. So she was going to probably be retiring anyway at the end of the year, but this sort of just accelerated it a little bit by a couple of months. So congratulations to her and her daughter, Charlie. Like when you look on Instagram, it's her and Charlie, like walking into the stadium. Charlie's got these like flower petal sunglasses on. It's very adorable. Alex is carrying a soccer ball purse. It's so fun, and just an incredible player, and she's been amazing for the community. She was also the one of the leaders to get equal pay for the women's national team. The reason why the women are getting paid like the men now is because of the work that she did along with other players in her generation. So big ups to Alex. Congratulations, baby horse. Farewell. So yeah.
Congratulations, one hell of a career, and yeah, man, I wish nothing but the best. Do you think she's gonna go into coaching once she's ready?
She said no. Actually, she sees that her future is more in investing in women's sports and youth sports. So that's the route she's going to take. She's going to try to help build the league out, I believe, is probably what's going to happen. We may see her become like we look at Bay FC. There were 4 different former U.S. women's national team players came together to basically be the face, face of the ownership group. And I could see Alex doing something like that with an expansion team, or maybe doing it with another team that exists already. Maybe San Diego Wave has, an ownership opportunity for her and she can buy in there or something. Alex, between her endorsements and her very long playing career, she has a little bit more cash than the average NWSL player. So she'll have some opportunities, to be sure. Up to and including Reese's earlier this year. She had a Reese's commercial with Sophia Smith. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. She was a Cal alum too. So I've been following Alex Morgan basically her entire adult life. Like I've been paying attention because I'm a Cal guy. So I've known about her forever. And I remember her first game was this like snowy ass match in Utah. And she gets out there and like it's like making snow angels in the after the game and shit like that. So.
Well, awesome, man.
All right, so let's move on. Of course, we have one note on this particular topic, and let's check our watches. Oh, yeah, look at that! Wouldn't you know it? It's fuck John Fisher o'clock. Wouldn't you know it?
Always.
So Brody Brazil is announced that he's leaving NBC Sports at the end of the baseball season. So he's not going to be doing the pre and post for the Sharks either anymore. And I'm wondering, why that is. They don't really, they haven't really said much. And Brody's not going to say anything really until he's out of contract. So once the season is over, I'm sure we'll get a lot more answers. And I think he's hinted at that coming anyway. But for now, we're just kind of left to speculate why. And it may be because he was being a little too fair to the fans. And not overly, praising some dipshit who inherited all of his money. I don't know. Who's to say? I wonder why you let him go. He's been around. He's been on that network for like, a decade and a half, basically, since it was founded as Comcast Sportsnet, right, in like 2009. Obviously he's the pre and post game host for the A's and the Sharks. I don't know who you're gonna have to do the Sharks now. It would have been easier, I think, to like move Brody over to maybe doing the Giants stuff. Maybe like on games when maybe he does a Warriors game here and there. I'm not trying to get what's his name fired or nothing, but like there was other opportunities. He could have been on any of the Niners games, or I don't know, man.
I think he might. Look, he's a big name. He's got a lot of options in the Bay Area, I should say. He's a big name.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of options to weigh out. But I wouldn't be shocked if Casey gives him a whole ring and it's like, hey, man, could use somebody like you on our staff here for hockey post game and pregame. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Casey's not there anymore either.
Oh, that's right.
He's with
Casey's
the
with the city of Oakland now. So yeah, we're
go there.
The two biggest advocates for A's fans throughout this entire saga, like the two biggest public facing advocates. They're not leaving.
I hope the Sharks directly hire Brody Brazil. Like just the Shark hire him, and then he can do a Sharks exclusive podcast. His podcasts are great, are always well done,
produced. Yeah, and everything.
Is the San Jose Sharks directly hire Brody Brazil to do a San Jose Sharks show?
Do the Sharks have their own radio station that's not associated with?
Yeah, they have their own audio network. So I mean, honestly, Brody's gonna have plenty of opportunities. I'm not worried about him. He's gonna land on his feet. He'll be fine. There's a lot of opportunities for him, and I'm sure he'll find the best one for him. And I just wish him all the best. And I wish it didn't have to happen like this, man.
Well, I agree that Brody said that this was kind of a shock to him. I mean, he had to have known in the back of his head that he was kind of laying on the sword.
It was a possibility. Yeah.
He had to know that it could go up in flames in his face. You know what I mean? So I don't think this is as a huge shock to him, but I definitely think it sucks that he got the Shark. The Sharks thing was the biggest blow. He was not expecting that. So I don't know. We'll see.
All right. So as we said, fuck John Fisher. One baseball note here: Matt Chapman and the Giants agreed to a massive extension, 6 years, 151 million. So now it's the second richest contract in Giants history, behind Buster Posey's 9 for 167 million in 2013. So in terms of pure dollars, it's the second richest. But year for year, it's actually, I think, the richest. And there's no fancy math on here on this one. It's 25 million a year through the 2030 season, with a 1 million signing bonus to be paid out next year. So Matt Chapman likes playing for Bomel, and so he's going to keep playing for Bomel for a few years.
It just kind of feels like at some point somebody was going to take a bag from the Giants because they tried to give it away.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a lot of people who didn't really want it, and it just seems like at some point somebody's going to take the bag. And Matt Chapman was like one of the few A's players that, I mean, he's gotten paid, but he hasn't gotten a bag like that.
Yeah.
So here it is.
Well, I'm also hearing, and I'm very curious about it, just because given the nature of how the organization runs itself, in contrast to the A's, it's very similar. But that Zaidi's on the hot seat, and he may not be with the Giants next year as their GM. So I'm curious if that's true. What approach does this organization take? Because they haven't proven to even the Giants fans that they're willing to spend money on big talent out there. Like, yeah, sure, they've talked about Aaron Judge, but
they've been in the hunt for a lot of these players, but they don't end up landing them. Not one.
But they know they have to overpay. They know they have to overpay, and they're not.
This is year what for Farhan?
4 or 5, something like that. At this point,
and it's not, for me, it's not even the free agents; it's the players that you develop.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even your internal. The A's are in absolute chaos, and they're producing talent.
Yeah.
Like you think Larry Butler, Lawrence Butler ain't like somebody wouldn't want to trade for him right now, or in the off season. Like, he is a potential star in the making. You still have Brent Rooker, who's still hitting the ball. Like, they got good players. They're not all of them are superstars, but like you kind of look around the league and you could see players like the Orioles got a bunch of stars. They figured it out. Like, Farhan has not drafted and developed well.
Mm-hmm.
It's the problem for me. It's not really the free agents. It sucks, but you don't even have like a core of young players that you're like, hang your hat on. You don't got it. You don't really have it.
Yeah, it's true. I can't think in the Giants organization currently right now. They have some pitching prospects, but I don't think anybody on is within the next year or two to come up in the big leagues as far as fielders for them. So everything they've won is already here. So I don't know. Should be interesting. I'm not a big Giants fan, but I will keep myself privy to it just because I like to see the shakeups and like to see what happens.
Yeah, totally.
I hope they stink for the next 20, 30 years, honestly.
Yeah.
So what else we got? World Baseball Classics?
Yeah, so let's talk just real quick the World Baseball Classic. And so they announced a couple weeks ago, and we just kind of had it on the back burner because we needed more time to talk about it. But we finally have that time. So the World Baseball Classic unveiled the 2026 format, the pools, the schedule. So the opening rounds are going to start March 5th in 2026. 4 groups with 5 teams, 5 national teams each. The top 2 in each group will go to the quarterfinals. These games will be played in San Juan, Puerto Rico, Tokyo, Houston, and Miami. The quarterfinals are going to be March 13 and 14. Groups A and B champs will play the runners-up of each other in Houston, and the same with groups C and D in Miami. Like, their champions will play the runner-ups of the other one. So then your semifinals and finals are going to be in March 15 and 16 and 17 in Miami as well. So again, nothing terribly close to us. The closest to us is Houston, and I'm not going to Houston. But honestly, the last time the last 2 times that I enjoyed watching baseball truly was the Banana League, the Savannah Bananas that I went to earlier this year, and then the World Baseball Classic. That was a lot of fun when we were watching it the last time, So that's the only reason why we're even talking about it, is because that's half of the last time that I enjoyed watching baseball.
You know what's crazy, man, is I try to watch like other baseball, like not even affiliated with MLB,
Mhm.
and I just
Yeah.
right now I don't watch
Yeah.
any of it. None of it.
Yeah, I can't even do like Korean baseball or Japanese baseball
I'm
league.
like,
Yeah.
as much as I want to get excited for the World Baseball Classic, they're all like MLB players. I'm kind of like,
and it's at least a year and a half away. Who knows how we'll feel at that
Exactly.
point? But I mean, yeah, it's just our life force basically of baseball has just been sucked out of us, man.
I don't care
It's been
about it.
so like I as much as I want to care about it, yeah, I just don't.
Yeah.
And we'll see how we're feeling in a year and a half. We talked about it because it was news that broke. So.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm not, obviously the love affair isn't there compared to how it was with the A's, but I am still following the Padres. Jackson Merrill is high contentions to win Rookie of the Year, and he looks amazing for them. Pitching is still a question mark, but they got Yu Darvish back for the Padres, and they're only 5 games out from the Dodgers at 86 versus 81 wins. So, hey, look, I said I was going to root for another team, and while I am rooting for the Padres, even though Bomo left and all that good stuff, but I just like an underdog story, and I don't know if the Padres are necessarily the underdog anymore as compared to like the Diamondbacks or the Rockies, but they were the longest time growing up, so that's kind of why I felt attracted towards them. And shout out to them, and hopefully they pull this out and coming into the old dog days of baseball here for us here.
I don't even know who are like the contenders. Like, I don't know anything about this season, dude. Like, this is the first time in my life where I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I've completely.
I
I've
don't
been
know.
completely out, man. I don't. It's so weird.
The only reason why I know a little bit about the A's is because a coworker of mine will still like check their box scores. So I'm like, you check the box scores, but you don't watch any of the games. And he's like, nah, I just check it.
Makes sense.
I'm like, all right.
Well, hey, we
boo-boo.
had one last thing here, unless you guys got something else here for us. But
No, go ahead.
Tim, I only had one thing, a meme of the week. Tim, let me know when we're good to go here. You can tell me in the tin can.
Yeah.
This is me. To all you New York Giants fans, to the one at the barbershop, to the ones that hit me up on Reddit, this is to all of you fuckers.
Damn.
Oh man.
Oh my God. Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Oh, Sam Darnold, baby. Look at that. The perfume of being the backup quarterback for the Niners, man. Good grief.
Oh man. It's going to be a long season for the New York Giants.
Yeah. Oh, I knew that was going to be a shit show. Right from the get-go, man. I feel bad for Brian Daboll. Like, I feel bad for the head coach. Like, there's nothing he can do. Like, the front office are idiots. They're the ones that gave Daniel Jones was it $40 million a year?
$40 million a year
for
all
this.
Right. Look,
fans were booing him. Fans were booing that man as he left the stadium.
Vince, I already know where you stand on this because we already mentioned it in a group, but I'm curious what you think, Sam. Who finessed their team more? And I'm going to give points out first, okay? Danny Dimes or Watson in Cleveland. Now, hold on. Before you say anything, Danny Dimes, he's been a hot belly of garbage. He did go to the playoffs once. He didn't get far, but he went, and you could argue that he's the reason why they went to the playoffs that one season. While my man over there in Cleveland hasn't done absolutely nothing and got paid a whole entire season to be in court, which, by the way, he's got another one posted today about sexual assault and battery. Yep. So who finessed their team more, Watson or Danny Dimes?
Well, that's the Watson situation is just, that's awful. I mean, the guaranteed money, these allegations were happening. You still gave it to him. You guaranteed it. And now there's more. on a human level, that's the worst. That's just because they're like, oh, there's a chance he's innocent. Give it to him. That has to be the worst. But Daniel Jones looks awful, awful. So
Yeah.
Go Sam Darnold. That's the real winner here.
No, the real winner is Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah.
Since leaving Cleveland, he's had an outstanding career compared to Watson. That's the real hero.
That's so wild, isn't it? Like I mean, he came in and spot started for the Rams that one game against the Raiders, and then his time
he literally
in Tampa,
walked off the airplane.
Yeah, he walked off the airplane and into the starting lineup and
played
beat
backyard football and fucking won.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's all that we have listed here in our notes. Is there anything else that we should bring up before we log off and I get to go watch the Niners game? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Niners, for giving me winning my parlay. I appreciate that, and
thanks to Papa G in the chat. Commenting that he agreed his love for baseball is basically gone, and then he actually thinks it's Watson. By the way, was the bigger fleecing. And
I agree. I agree.
Sure.
Yeah, it's pretty
you're a criminal, man.
Yeah, that part's rough. I mean, I get like the worst part is he actually flashed. He actually showed that he had some talent in Houston, and so to come over here and do jack squat that's huge. Whereas I think the Giants were just idiots, and they're just handing out money to hand out money. So that wasn't really anything that Daniel Jones did. Anyway.
Agreed.
Yeah. So thanks for listening to the pod, everybody. Again, subscribe on YouTube, hit the bell for alerts when we go live. If you're listening to us through podcast versions, we're live everywhere. We come join us on YouTube, but if you can't join us on YouTube, listen to the pods on Spotify and all those other ones. Follow us on Instagram, SVT Pod, and then just slide into them DMs, man. Interacting with people, is it's a lot of fun, and just join the party.
3 more, guys. 3 more to hit the old 5-0 here. So hopefully we can get 3 more subscribers, and we get to do cool content like this background that you get to see here. So
yeah, that's right. Your boy Vinny G has a library now at his new place. So as you can see, the books are in the bookshelf instead of last week where the cupboard was bare. But yeah, we were getting settled. Stop giving the score. I didn't ask for the score highlight. God damn it. All right. Thanks, Edward. Jesus. I wanted to watch the game. Okay, so at least I know what to look for. Fine. All right.
Thanks.
All right. It's time to go. Fuck John Fisher and have a great night, everybody.
Later.
Good night, everybody.